Good afternoon, everybody. This is Eric Mishi. I am the CEO of SAVE, Suicide Awareness Voices of Education. We are a Minnesota-based national nonprofit that focuses on suicide awareness as well as suicide prevention. And I'm here today with two incredible people who are both tremendous advocates for our work and what we do. And got an event that's coming up here that we want to talk about today. And I'm getting some feedback here. Let me check here what's going on. Give me a second, because that's not working the way I want it to. So I am going to plug in this thing here. That's how we roll here. You guys hear me okay? Perfect.
Yes.
All right. So here we go. I'm going to introduce, first of all, MJ Weiss Blair. MJ, how are you today?
Doing well. Thank you for asking.
Good to see you. It seems like it's been since what, yesterday since I saw you.
Almost 24 hours.
Almost 24 hours. And let's talk a little bit about you, your background, and how you got involved with SAVE.
Yes. I lost my daughter Kayla to death by suicide on the Washington Avenue Bridge back in November of 2023. And we took some amazing, powerful strides with the help of SAVE and making a connection with a lot of allies in the state of Minnesota, and can probably say we were able to secure $8 million towards permanent suicide prevention barriers that will go up on that Washington Avenue Bridge by securing $8 million from the state of Minnesota. So a lot of great, amazing progress.
It is great progress, and you now serve on SAVE's board of directors. So we're thrilled to have you on here. We're going to continue to advocate for this policy throughout the state of Minnesota and nationally. And we'll maybe talk about that a little later here in our live stream. And Leah. Hello, Leah.
What's up, Eric? I'm great. How are you?
I'm stunning. Thank you for asking. Leah, you are a Pound Pro Fitness instructor. Did I get that right?
That's exactly right. Yep.
Fabulous.
One of the hats I wear.
So let's talk about, first of all, why are you involved in this effort? And then we're going to talk a little bit about Pound. We're going to talk about HIIT. And we're going to talk about the fact that I've registered for this willingly, that I'm going to participate, right?
Yeah, you have.
But let's start with that. What's your interest in SAVE and our work and our mission?
Well, the short answer is that mental health is health, and how we prevent suicide. I think there's a lot of ways that you both can certainly educate me about. But there's a lot of ways that we can prevent suicide. And one of the ways that we can do that is by destigmatizing mental health and elevating the voices of people talking about their experience with mental health and how to care for themselves in those ways in their communities. And so, Eric, you reached out to me a couple of months ago and said, hey, would you ever be interested in doing this kind of event? And I said, absolutely. I thought you'd never ask. And so here we are. I found Pound in the basement of a Y, like people find fitness formats, a number of years ago, way before the pandemic. And I said, wow, there's something about these green sticks and the way that when we strike them and move together as a group, there's something in my brain that went, wow, this is so much more fun than any other fitness format I've ever done. And I can't say that it beats running, but it certainly is a close second. And then, long story short, I eventually decided to get certified, and then I leveled up, which just means you kind of become extra nerdy. And then I learned another format, and then I decided to become tour crew, which is a super advanced level nerd of Pound, where we get to really talk about Pound and how great it is. And that's me. That's my short answer.
That's a great answer. You did very good. And I want you to know that my plan was to have my own Pound sticks for today's live stream, but I ordered them on Amazon and they're delayed. So the best I can really do is a couple of different color Sharpies for the moment.
Yes.
But I will have them for the event itself. And we're going to talk about the event in a little bit here. But MJ, you do some kind of fitness thing too. What is it you do?
I teach a variety of fitness classes, but the one we're going to focus on August 16th is called HIIT. It's high intensity interval training. So we'll do a class that has intervals, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, 40 seconds, bursts of energy. So we don't count reps. We go by time. So it'll push you through, hopefully to the point of fatigue, and then you take a little break, and then you reset and you go again. And it's the segment itself for that day is going to be about 30 minutes.
Okay. So now, just so we're clear though, despite what you've just described, which sounds exhausting to me, this event is for anybody at any fitness level, right? Where anybody's invited. You don't have to be somebody who is an expert in any of these. You're going to have kind of the opportunity to share people like me how to do this so that anybody at any level, any skill level can participate.
Correct. So in designing like a HIIT workout that fits the needs of everybody and anybody, you think about, those different levels that everybody is in. There's multiple difficult levels, and every movement you do has modifications. So from your beginner levels to your advanced level, we're there to support you and have everyone feel supported that they can, do this workout. Again, we'll have time-based intervals to honor each person's pace. So we don't have to worry about counting reps. Focusing on language that empowers without pressure. There's words of encouragement. We'll talk about strength and resilience. And specifically, our HIIT segment that day will include a warm-up, the main act, a final group finisher. We'll all do something really cool together. And then we'll end with a post-session breathing exercise component that we prepare for Leah's amazing pound class.
Well, so then we're going to talk about pound. So Leah, for those who haven't experienced pound before, tell us what we're in for.
Yeah. So pound is a drumming-inspired cardio rock out jam session. So it's inspired by drumming. But we use these fancy green sticks called rip sticks. They are highly detectable. They're bright green, so they're easy to see. And I do a lot of cueing with the sticks so you can kind of see where we're going. And it is a fitness format. We actually don't talk about beginners and advanced. It is for everyone. Pound is for everybody, for all ages, all stages. We talk a lot about options. And so in a pound class, there's a lot of drumming style movements, a lot of core engagement. We have a couple of different positions. We use language that is resonant of rock and roll music, because music is something that brings people together. And we know that when people make music together and in rhythmic, in drumming circles and in other formats, when people move and make noise together, that they build community. And then it fires up parts of their brains that are really important for things like oxytocin, for instance. And so all you need are these. And if you don't have them, you can absolutely use Sharpies on your desk as well. I was recently visiting my sister-in-law in Southern California, the birthplace of pound, and I gave her my ripsticks and I used wooden spoons, and she's 77. And we were doing some movements together in her living room. So it's just kind of a fun thing. And so I think the best way to understand pound is to just show up and experience it. We teach classes for kids through a format called Generation Pound. I also have a very good friend and a pound icon named Mike who will be at this event. He and our other two Minnesota icons, that means that they're international master trainers. All three of them will be at this event teaching, volunteering their time. And Mike's specialty is really working with elders. We have a couple other pound pros that work in senior centers and places in memory care. And let me tell you what, if you want to see some magic happen, spend a couple hours watching little kids do pound, and then spend some time with 90-plus-year-olds doing pound, and you can see the same levels of joy and happiness and rock and roll, rock star energy happening in both places. So it's come as you are, and bring everything you want to share and let go at pound.
And so I want to talk a little bit about this whole motion of movement and exercise and mental health, because that's an incredibly important connection between both of those. We know that things that matter as we deal with mental health is, we encourage people, get outside, get in nature, get away from a laptop, get away from a computer, take a break, go do some exercise. That chemical activity that takes place in that person's body and their mind has an incredibly powerful effect on your mental health, right? And so, one of the things that, we spend a lot of time talking about, we do a lot of education and training, a lot of different types of things, but more often than not, one of the things that's extremely important for people to understand is that physical movement has a powerful impact on people's mental health. And MJ, you work in the healthcare field, right? And so, does that ring true to you? Is that something that you see, that you've experienced, both with the classes that you teach or even the patients you work with?
Right. So I do work in the medical field as a nurse, and I really pride myself in doing things preventatively, which is why I got into group fitness teaching, because I believe as you're exercising, you're learning to reclaim control of your body. And with suicide prevention, it's about reclaiming hope and purpose. And that's how they tie together, I feel. The powerful question of, how do you blend with suicide prevention? It takes intentionality, and it takes heart. When you exercise, you're pushing through something that you may be experiencing, fatigue, or you just feel like quitting. And in many ways, it's a metaphor for mental health battles that people are also struggling with, as they're struggling with thoughts of suicide. So when you exercise, it's teaching perseverance and grit, and the idea that, what you're going through and what you're pushing through as you exercise, be it you're doing HIIT or pound or running, that there's, you can fight through that battle, and you can win. So as we were putting together this idea of combining a fitness event with suicide prevention, the combination seemed to fit really well, because both of them deal with survival. Again, you're exercising, you're having your people reclaim what they're doing physically to keep healthy, and then that whole piece of, finding that hope and purpose. So by putting those two together, my idea was to create a space where movement is not just about exercise, but making it a statement of strength, stability, and support right in that area. Group fitness, again, HIIT, pound, yoga, your other classes, they foster connection and accountability. And in suicide prevention, you're looking at breaking the silence and encouraging dialogue, which is very, very crucial. So on August 16th, it was our idea to bring a community of people together, create a sense of shared struggles and thoughts that can be translated into deeper connections, and bring those support systems not only to that gym that day, but extended outside of that gym at the end of the day.
So I want to talk a little bit about the event, and I'm just putting some more information here on the screen. But so the event is Saturday, August 16th, and it is going to be at the National Guard Armory in Arden Hills, Minnesota. We've got some information here that you can go to our website, save.org, and hit the event button, and you can learn more about it. But Leah, kind of maybe share with us what time does the event start? How does the event flow? What can people expect when they get there?
Absolutely. Yeah. I also realized I forgot to answer one of your questions about why pound for me personally.
Yes.
And I will do that briefly. And that is that, quite frankly, pound saved my life during the pandemic. And I don't mean that to sound dramatic or insincere. Truly, when things got really challenging for lots of folks, it was a format that I knew about, I had found connection with, and the community of people that I engaged with virtually, and then outside in snowdrifts and at skate parks and in obscure parking lots where we could all gather and do fitness together, and also more importantly, just as importantly, build community and talk to each other and share our struggles and support each other and root for each other. It's a debt of gratitude I have, and will continue to pay this forward as long as I can. And so that's a little bit about why specifically pound, and the format and the people. This event is going to be great. So our friends over at the National Guard said, come use our space. It's free parking. They're letting our volunteers and your staff, Eric, be specially trained so we can be in charge of buzzing people in. I think there's a special guest buzzing people in that morning. There's a beautiful gym. They're letting us use the sound system, which we tested, by the way, and it works great. Because I had to make sure there was a good base. We can bring in snacks and refreshments so people can bring their hydration stations. Of course, everyone should bring a yoga mat if they don't have a yoga mat. Frankly, I use a bath mat sometimes when I'm teaching outside, or a beach towel, or reach out to one of us and one of us can grab an extra one for you. So hydration and a yoga mat. And then I'll have these. Eric, you can bring yours, but I have there are going to be about 7 different pound pros that are going to be co-teaching with me, including the icons that I mentioned, Mike, Kim, and Marnie, and we'll have sticks for everybody. So when people get there, they're going to come to the event. Check-in is going to start at about 8 a.m. So people, please don't come before 8 a.m. because I won't have had enough coffee yet to be able to fully function. Come after 8 a.m. We'll get you checked in. We're going to be selling raffle tickets for beautiful prizes that people have donated and continue to donate. So that's still an option for folks that want to get involved. And then Eric is going to say a couple of words. I hear he's going to be wearing full spandex. So I for sure will be for that. I know MJ's sister is going to be.
Don't let that take hold with anybody watching this, because nobody will come if that happens. So I will not.
That's a vicious rumor that I just tried to start, and we're squashing it now. It's over. So now we're moving on. You're welcome. And then we're going to start with MJ, and MJ is going to lead us on HIIT, and then we'll transition into pound. We'll get everybody their sticks. We'll do some brief intros, some discussion about form, and then we're going to fire off a class. Usually a class is 12 tracks. We are doing a smaller version, recognizing that we want people to be active, but we also don't want people to completely and totally come and like burn themselves out this morning. So then we'll do that, and then we'll wind down and reset with a beautiful yoga class with remind me of the instructor. She's a friend of MJ's. I believe her name is Anne-Marie.
Anne-Marie, yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we'll have the fabulous prize section of things and some refreshments.
And so, I think you have any giveaways? Do you have any drawings, raffles, things like that?
Yeah.
You may have already covered that, and I missed it because I was still thinking about me and spandex. Which is troubling me.
Not required. Not required. Nobody has to wear spandex. We don't have a lot of rules in pound except for safety and take a drum solo. We don't have mistakes in pound. They're called drum solos. So we encourage people, if you find yourself in one, just keep going and then come back and join the rest of the group if you want to. It's not required. We've got a couple of, so personally, so far what people have handed to me, my friend Tony has a restaurant in Dickintown, and he's given me some gift cards to be able to raffle off. A friend of mine donated a high-end Kate Spade purse. with some goodies inside. Another friend of mine offered or to put together like a picture frame with scratch offs in it. So those are just some of the examples of the things that people have been giving to me. I know MJ, some other folks have given you some prizes. Oh, the gym where I work, the Jewish Community Center, they put together a little gift basket of goodies to raffle off. I haven't seen it yet. I still have to go pick it up, but that'll be one of the prizes.
We, as instructors, will be wearing tanks that do say Kayla's Hope on there. First annual, so we'll be raffling off one of those. I know somebody in this studio room who wrote a book. We'll be raffling off one of those amazing books.
Maybe they'll be signed.
We've got a lot of cool things coming everybody's way. And if anybody listening wants to connect with the Save office or one of us before that August 16th date, let us know. If you in any way also want to sponsor or donate your time, talents to what we're doing, let us know.
So when we talked about doing this live stream, I told you guys that this would be like the fastest half hour that you dealt with, and we're kind of getting close to the end of this 30 minutes. So before we do that, I want to kind of get a couple other highlights here. So the event is August 16th, registration 8 a.m.
Yeah.
Arden Hills Armory, which is I had it here, 4761 Hamlin Avenue North in Arden Hills. But beyond that, you go to save.org and go to events and click on that. It'll give you all the details. It'll also give you the information on how to register. What's it cost to register for this event?
$30.
$30, and all of that's going to Save. So all of that's tax deductible. So if you
get a raffle ticket.
And you get a raffle ticket, and you might win some prizes, and you won't see anybody who shouldn't be wearing spandex, so that'll be good. We'll have a couple copies of my book there, right, MJ? And you wrote the foreword for it, so and I'll autograph a few. That'll clearly make it worth a lot more money. But one of the things I want to kind of come to as we kind of wrap this up, suicide prevention, suicide awareness requires all of us to have to be willing to talk about it, right? We find ourselves still in this day and age dealing with far too much stigma that's associated with suicide. And being able to have events like this where people can talk about it in an environment which is welcoming, which is open, but is also surrounded by other people who have some kind of lived experience, whether it's with a mental health challenge, whether it's someone who is a suicide loss survivor, incredibly important. And so I can't thank both of you enough for being willing to take this on and being willing to put this event on. My hope is that your network and anybody watching this and anybody who's asking themselves, I just don't know what I can do to help support this organization. Here is a quick and easy way to do it. And again, it doesn't matter what your fitness level is. It doesn't matter if you've ever done pound before, if you've ever done HIIT before. Find yourself in a community of people who have a shared interest in trying to make a difference in the world. And so any last words from both of you before we call this a day?
I think we're good. I'm looking forward to playing a playlist, and hopefully, I'll be able to fit in one of my favorite songs, the Rocky theme song, "Gonna Fly Now." I'm hoping to wrap that into my HIIT theme list, and I also like the Fight song by Rachel Platten. She's got some good words. I know Pound usually does maybe a Rise Up by Audra Joy in there. If she's in your playlist, Leah, I don't know. But there's some pretty cool songs out there.
Leah, any last words before we call it a day here?
I think this is going to be great. I can't wait. I am not saying anything about our set list. That will be a surprise for folks when they come. But it's going to be fun. And be brave. Check it out. I've been telling everybody, my little snippet that I've been telling people is just join us. We're going to raise hope. We're going to make some noise, and we're going to save lives.
And I think along the way, we're going to raise a little hell, right, Leah? Okay, so raise a little
That's the
hell, which is,
subtext. I just wasn't sure I could say that here.
well, I
Yes.
can. It's my live stream, so I just said it.
Okay.
Last kind of comment I want to share with people is that if you find yourself in a situation where you're struggling with mental health, you need some help, you need someone to talk to, please call, text, or chat 988. It's free. It's 24 hours a day. It's 7 days a week. The people on the other end of that conversation are trained to help support you. If you know somebody who needs help and you're not quite sure what to do to help them, please call, text, chat 988. That service is free. It's there for everybody and anybody. And please share that out with anybody that you know. Learn about what you can do to make a difference and help save a life. Go to save.org. Learn more about the work that we do. Learn more about this event on Saturday, August 16th. Be there and bring your sticks or don't bring your sticks. Most of all, bring your heart, and we'll look forward to seeing you all.
All right. See you guys on the 16th.
Talk to you later.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
bye.
Thank you.